Hi, look, I'm on camera. You see us? Hi, there's Raj. There's Raj. Look how happy he is.
Wait, are we on video?
Yes, we're on video. Beard. We're both so beardy. Beardcast.
It was not stipulated in my contract that it would be on video.
It has to work for a gag later. So, yeah, hi, welcome back to the Untitled Nerdcast. No Egerton tonight. Though, we can happily say, he no longer has COVID. He now has something way worse. So tonight I have Raj. I haven't seen you in ages. Hi, Raj. Yay.
Hello. It's me.
We're just going to chat about some fun, nerdy things and have a little bit of a catch-up. Because once again, not seen him in ages. Hi. Let's call back to last week where it's like, hey, here's the worst kept secret in Hollywood. Spider-Man's got leaks. So many leaks. It's like, it has more leaks than the Titanic. It has more leaks than certain salads. It's, you know, everyone knows that we're getting multiple Spider-Men. And if we don't, it would actually be the biggest twist in cinema history. It's like, hey, here's a movie. And it doesn't have any of that stuff. So yeah, this week's leak, as there's one every week, oh, I love the fact that just one every week. The soundtrack listing got leaked, and it includes Danny Elfman's Spider-Man theme and the Amazing Spider-Man 2 theme. And it's like, okay, yay. Still annoyed they didn't include Electro's theme, because his theme is one of the best things in Amazing Spider-Man 2. You know?
I don't know.
Damn it! I really wish I wish I could have kind of got a. Yeah, it was fun.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
One of the leaks, of course, was that it was the Spider-Man No Way Home was including the actor who played Daredevil as back to play Matt Murdock, and just coincidentally, he's been hired back by Marvel and Disney, officially announced, which also ties back to something about Hawkeye, but don't want to spoil that for Raj. So yeah, Spider-Man. We pretty much know everything about it, but nothing about the actual plot, which I kind of love. It's like, so much stuff is spoiled, but I have no idea what's happening in the movie.
Have they done the progression that Iron Man did, where in Iron Man 3 there were just loads of Iron Men? So can we expect to see loads of Spider-Men?
Well,
and that's why they would have the music from all the different Spider-Men?
I love the fact you're asking this. Do you actually know anything about the new Spider-Man movie?
I've never seen a Spider-Man movie in my life.
Okay, that case, I just ran on from a couple, 3 minutes, and you've understood none of it. It's great. Basically, it's set after Endgame, so you know the whole big Marvel. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. And it's literally at the end of the last Spider-Man movie. J. Jonah Jameson popped up, went, by the way, Peter Parker Spider-Man, and this whole thing is him going to Doctor Strange, going, hey, can you cast a spell to, you know, wipe people's memory of me? And it goes awry, and then you have villains from every Spider-Man movie. Like, you had the big trailer moment where you had Doc Ock pop back up. And this one, last trailer moment, you got Willem Dafoe back as Green Goblin. It's like, I love Willem Dafoe. He's such a creepy but lovely person.
Oh yeah, I watched the Lighthouse recently.
Oh,
that's definitely him just doing what Willem Dafoe does best.
I love and hate that movie so much, but I feel you're supposed to love and hate it. It's like, hey,
yeah,
do you want to go see a borderline Lovecraftian black and white movie where, for at least 20 minutes of it, Robert Pattinson is in a shed, just, you know, to a wooden mermaid statue?
Yeah.
Or at one point having weird sexual tension with a beardy Willem Dafoe?
It's not what I signed up for, but you know what? I'm strangely okay with it. I guess I could say.
I mean, it's already, you know, that stuff alone, by the way, has already got petitions to get Willem Dafoe to be Rob Patterson's Joker. And it's like, you're not going to top him, you know, getting pissed off at Robert Patterson for not liking his soup and then cursing him out by the 7 Seas. Look,
you saying you don't like my lobs?
It's not bad.
That monologue is great.
Oh, I love that movie is so weird. Oh, I wasn't expecting to talk about Lighthouse today. Oh, I'm really happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lighthouse. Know. Yeah, if you haven't seen Lighthouse, honestly, go watch it. It gets so weird, but it's good.
It was added on Netflix recently.
Oh, it's on Netflix. I might watch it again.
Yeah.
So for actually, a bit of a segue into let's just say artsy fartsy film directors who might have a high opinion of themselves and their work. I think you have something to talk about Ridley Scott.
Okay, yeah. So, Ridley Scott, you know him. You probably don't love him, but you know him.
Okay. I love his work. The man himself is
Okay,
getting.
yeah, that's what I mean.
The man himself is becoming a bit.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
You love his work. He's obviously he's directed some incredible films. Alien, Gladiator, Blade Runner.
Blade Runner,
It's
Blade
like-
Runner, Blade Runner, Blade Runner. Sorry.
Yeah, all of them. Right?
Yeah.
And the problem is, every single time Ridley Scott opens his mouth, he makes the films worse in a way. Like what he said about the ending of Blade Runner. Basically, any ambiguity in that film is now ruined because of what he said. It's just like, oh yeah.
I like to think of him as he's not your racist relative at Christmas. He's just that one who just kind of says something and makes everyone just feel a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know?
He's very outspoken, and let's just say his recent output has not been stellar.
So let's see, his current thing is Last Duel. Before that was Alien Covenant. Wait, no.
It's actually Last Duel and House of Gucci.
I forgot he also did House of Gucci, which he's also... Sorry, no, go ahead. This is your bit. This is your bit. Have fun with this.
Yeah. Okay, so this year he's directed Last Duel and House of Gucci, but I was sort of referring more to before that, where he made that film, what was it, The Counselor, where Cameron Diaz has sex with a car.
The film was just so bad, she retired.
She retired after that film.
Yeah, she retired.
Tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
And so there's a film that came out this year, Last Duel, with Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Adam Driver, and Jodie Comer. And it basically flopped at the box office. Very few people saw it. I'm one of the 12 people in the world that has seen it.
Are you not one of those millennials who have a phone?
Yeah. And so in an interview where Ridley Scott was asked, why do you think the film didn't do well, he said something to the effect of, it's because millennials are spending all of their time on their phone and they expect to receive information about films through social media rather than actually paying attention to advertising through other means.
I think that was the same interview he had. He did a Scorsese where he's like, all superhero films are rubbish or boring, or they don't have any story. And it's like,
And he said it was a roller coaster, Scorsese.
That was it, yeah. Recently, Ridley Scott, like, not only his own work, he's also talking about other things he's working on. Because once again, Ridley Scott has done some television work recently. He wasn't last year, year before was Raised by Wolves, which was good, but I don't know how to recommend it to people. It's a weird ass show. It's like, it's a hard sci-fi show. So, we'll get on to some different hard sci-fi later, but this one's weird. Brilliant season 2 of that. But he's also working with Disney / 20th Century Pictures, not 20th Century Fox anymore, and Hulu to make an Alien series, which he's already saying is, it's going to be crap. It's going to be terrible. It's like, mate, you're producing it. You're producing it. Stop telling people it's bad.
It's just that, like, in a way, he's tended to do better recently as a producer than he has as a director. Yeah, I mean, he produced Blade Runner 2049. He relinquished control of the sequel to Denis Villeneuve, who we'll be talking about maybe a bit later. And that film ended up being a lot better for it. I don't know how much control that Ridley Scott had. From the sense I get from watching it, I don't think he had a lot of control. Which again is probably the best.
A bit of creative control, but he let off the reins to go, you do it. It takes the pressure off me, and if it buggers up, I can set the fans on you.
That's because Denis Villeneuve is competent.
He is. He doesn't always make the most
he knows what he's doing.
Interesting or successful movies, but you're never not going to be intrigued. Hey, is this Hugh Jackman locking a mentally disabled man in a boiler to torture him to look for his daughter? That's a movie that drags on and its pacing's a bit funny, but it's amazing. Hey, do you want to watch Ryan Gosling being an emotional robot and then have a holographic girlfriend and then have actual feelings about them? Great. Hey, do you want to really worry about this guy who plays bagpipes during a battle scene on an alien planet? We'll get back to that one.
Yeah, I disagree with Prisoners being too long.
I don't think he's ever made a short film. Well, he probably has made a bunch of short films, but he's never made a short movie. I think that's
well, Enemy was 1.5 hours long. Have you seen that?
I've never actually sat through all that movie, right? I tried to. No. By the way, it wasn't like, oh, it was terrible, I turned it off. I literally had a friend next to me going, hi, can you take me to the hospital? I've accidentally nailed my hand to the wall. Strange nail gun accident that had nothing to do with DIY. He was just an idiot.
Why are you calling Jesus an idiot?
I might have before. Thought I would become a minister in my life. This is the reason I didn't. Let's go back to Ridley Scott. The fact that he seems to have, no concept that maybe his film was really weirdly advertised. Like, everything I've seen about it looked half interesting. And then I got weird about that, hey, this is a film set in medieval France. This is based on, well, it's based on a book which is based on an historic event, yeah?
Mhm.
And half the cast
Yeah.
is American.
Yeah, it's weird.
Matt Damon, Adam
well, it's
Driver,
weird.
and then
It's
doesn't
weird.
Ben Affleck turn up?
Yes, but it's weird because Ben Affleck and Matt Damon and Adam Driver, they're doing English. They're basically doing an impression of English accents who are doing an impression of French people because it's set in France and everyone's talking about French place names and French names,
But they're speaking
all
with
doing
vague...
English accents.
Yeah.
Which makes sense in a film like Death of Stalin, where they're all Russians, but they're all just talking
I love
in
that.
their sort of British accents.
It's, okay, if you haven't watched it, first 15 minutes are a bit hard to get through, but once the comedy starts coming, it's dark, but it makes you laugh, and sometimes makes you feel guilty for laughing.
But yeah, it's weird in that sense because I guess for people watching it, they don't really know what it is they're watching because it takes a while for the film to really reveal what it's about. What the film's actually about, you only really find that out about an hour in.
So, the only other thing I know about it, because someone told me, didn't get it from the trailer, didn't get it from anything else, but it's basically set up the same way Rashomon was, where you get...
Yes.
Because the whole point of it is, I challenge you to duel or fight by a trial by combat or something, because you sexually assaulted my wife. And then you get everyone's point of view from the husband, the wife, and the the assaulter. Yeah.
So Matt Damon is the husband,
Yeah.
Adam Driver is the perpetrator, and then you finally get Jodie Comer's character's perspective.
Yeah.
And the film kind of says like the word truth, like it describes each of their stories as their truth. So
Yeah.
like Matt Damon's truth, Adam Driver's truth, and then Jodie Comer's truth. But it kind of emphasizes that this is what it considers to be the truth, right?
Okay.
That her story is the one that they're taking as being
Gospel.
the official story.
Yeah.
From her perspective, because she's the one who's been sexually assaulted, and so in a way it makes sense because you can't really make a film in this current era where you leave it vague for people to be able to say, oh well, we can't listen to them because they can't be trusted. It's like, no, we can't really have that sort of interpretation left over.
That's another thing about the movie's marketing, with especially this day and age, where the wake of the Me Too movement and everything, to not really play that up of it's medieval France, and this woman is trying to get her truth across, etc. The marketing was more just the, hey, we're gonna fight. My wife's in this movie. Also, there's Matt Damon blonde. Is he blonde?
No, Ben Affleck's blonde.
That's what I meant. Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
They blend into.
But I guess that, I agree with, but it's just, I suppose it is one of those films that you can't really market in a way that makes sense.
The final question about this, as once again, you're one of the millennials who is always on their phone but has seen the movie. Was it any good?
Mm-hmm. So, basically, when it gets to the actual duel,
Yeah.
it's actually very good.
Okay.
The actual duel itself is really well done. It's really intense. It's really well done. When it gets to the stuff about the actual sexual assault, there's some things about it that I think it's a little bit, I don't want to say problematic, but I think the way that it does certain things, it doesn't play up the sort of differences in the account that Adam Driver's character has and Jodie Comer's character has, in a way where it feels like it's showing the same scene twice, like that sort of Rashomon thing. It's from each of their different perspectives, and it doesn't really commit to showing the differences in their perspectives. But generally, I think that stuff is sort of interesting, and you can obviously see some very outdated views for, the roles of women in society back then. But the film dragged down by a lot of world building and stuff with these characters that just don't matter, ultimately. There's a bunch of other stuff that Ridley Scott's trying to put in to build up this world that kind of doesn't contribute to the main story. And it's just sort of extra fluff that doesn't really need to be there.
So, out of 5. Putting you on the spot for that one. Out of 5, then would you recommend?
I'd give it a 3 out of 5. It's like a soft recommend. What if it comes to sort of streaming services and you feel like watching it, you can watch it. It's a perfectly watchable film.
Comes out in Blu-ray. Quote, It's a perfectly watchable movie.
It's a very watchable film.
Before
yeah.
we jump into
Um,
the big topic, oh yeah, there were three. This week was very nice for David. David got to have three very different trailers come out for three very different movies, and all of them made me go, "Oh yay!" First was we got our first look at the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse trailer, which it's like, hey, it's a sequel to the Miles Morales tale, and it looks beautiful. It looks amazing. I want it. It just the music, the every time they go to a different world, instead of the individual characters having different animation styles, the worlds seem to have different animation styles, which look really cool.
Oh, so this is the sequel to the animated.
Yes, and it's also
Okay,
part one. So the next one's going to be two
I think
parters.
of the Spider-Man films, that's the one I actually want to watch the most.
Yeah, because I will watch it on.
It's Into the Spider-Verse. Yeah.
Yes, this is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, I think. And it's like, yay!
Okay, yeah.
Looks great. It's going to be a fun film. Like, my niece loved the first movie. She's like 4 now. And it's like, I might be able to take her to the cinema to see this. The next trailer I cannot take my niece to see because it's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We're getting another one.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, so
Okay.
the last few have been Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think I can say this. And Raj, even if you haven't watched the movies, you'll probably agree with me. It's a franchise that shouldn't really exist. The first movie is
I get that.
Yeah, the first movie's
Yeah.
the first movie. It is low budget, gnarly, gross. Actually, not that gory, but that's kind of the point. Horror movie that worked, and that's why everyone loves. That's why the horror movies, the horror fans love it. It's one of those movies that's just like, oh, it was a video nasty. It's got that place in cinema history that even if you've never watched it, I say Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you're picturing Leatherface, the apron, the chainsaw. It's in your head anyway. It's had too many sequels. It had a sequel which was a half comedy, a couple more that all kind of blended in together. All I know that Renée Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey were in one, and he had remote control legs. Then there was the remake, which was okay. Then I had the prequel to the remake, which was terrible. Then you had the direct sequel to the first one, which was in 3D, which was atrocious. But the Leatherface reveal was legitimately a good jump scare. The only good thing I'll say about the movie. Then there was another prequel, which is alright. We're getting a new movie. And I have some hopes for it. One, it looks good. It is a 50-year later thing, because the original one is set in like the 60s, I think? Or the late 70s? So it's 50 years later. You get Old Man Leatherface. It looks cool. And the director is, as like Freddie... if I'd done research, I would remember the director's name. He's the same director as The Evil Dead 4 and Don't Breathe.
I got nothing for you.
Don't Breathe was, hey, we break into this old blind man's house to rob him. Oh no, it turns out the old blind man is basically Jason Voorhees. And then Evil Dead 4 was fun, gory, scary. So I have high hopes for this one. It's like, please, give me a good horror movie that's coming to Netflix. Netflix, you have a bad track record of this. Actually give me a good horror movie. I love horror. I do. Then there's Last Trailer, which, Matrix, it's like, I half think that movie's probably going to be rubbish, but I don't care. Every single bit of the trailer's like, there's some nostalgia for you.
The thing that's interesting about it is the fact that the Wachowskis over many years have been asked by studios to make a sequel for it, and they've repeatedly said no because they've said that they've concluded the series. Yeah. And then they had, so what they kind of said is that Wachowskis, their parents passed, as well as one of their close friends in quite a short period of time. And basically, I think it's Lana Wachowski, the story came to them basically in the middle of the night. They felt sort of compelled to make it. And so it's been made, not the sense I get at least is that it's not been made for the sake of like a cash grab. Because if they, because if so, it would have been made a long time ago. I think
that's one thing. Now, that's one thing I've never got.
That's at least giving me a bit more hope. Than
it's one of the things about the Wachowskis, or in this case, Wachowski, because we're only getting Lana. She's the only one working on this one.
Yeah.
They've never been that kind of filmmaking force. They've been, we've got a neat idea, we're going to make it. And that neat idea can be lesbian gangster film is Bound. It's actually a good movie, but everyone just remembers the sex scene. Stop it. Don't Google. You get the Matrix trilogy, which were basically, hey, we want to make an anime movie, but also talk about, philosophy, artificial intelligence,
and don't forget Jupiter Ascending.
Hey, they wanted to do more anime.
Where Mila Kunis is seen to be the one by Sean Bean because some bees fly around her.
Because bees. And then, what was it again? Oh, what's his name? Eddie Redmayne, for the reason you probably can get an Oscar taken away from you.
Oh my god.
It's like, it's like he will either whisper every line or he will scream it.
You must go and get them.
You will not be!
What is
then we had Speed Racer, which was just a love letter, and the Netflix series Sense8, which honestly kind of summed up all the stuff. Which it is the ultimate distillment of a Wachowski project of some kick-ass action, high concept sci-fi. We're gonna have characters sit down and talk about their feelings. It's amazing. Also, the new Matrix, we look at the cast, half of them come from that TV series. The only thing I got was, after the last trailer came out, my sister texted me, she went, hey, that guy from Frozen's beating up Neo, because the new Agent Smith's the dude from Frozen. I'm looking forward to it. The nostalgia kick that I got, it was just at the end, with the really, corny, I still know Kung Fu. Oh, I don't care. I hope that's in the trailer. I hope that's in the movie. It's not just a trailer line. It is just...
Oh, yeah. Sometimes it doesn't make it into the film. One thing I will say, so House of Gucci...
Oh, yeah, back to Ridley Scott.
Yeah, sorry. There's a line in the trailer for House of Gucci where Jared Leto, who looks terrible in this movie...
Oh, he's in a fat suit with the hair and everything, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's trying to do an Italian accent, and there's a particular line where he talks to Adam Driver and says, "You married the real firecracker." Yeah. That's not in the film.
Very, very quick tangent, right? Jared Leto, he's one of those actors I hate if he's a main character. If he's a side character, I'm usually like, do you know what? Back to Blade Runner. His character Blade Runner. Short, creepy, doesn't overstay his welcome. Grand. Anything he's the main character is like, I want to...
But he's a side character in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, but he had too much screen time in Suicide Squad. But then again, Suicide Squad, terrible. Snyder Cut, his one scene's like, where was that Joker? That Joker's fantastic. Where was that one? Suicide Squad.
Instead, we got the one that goes, ah.
We got the one who purred and growled. Okay, subject change. So Raj, do you want to talk about Dune?
Let's talk about
Dune.
Yeah. No, wait. Let's talk about Dune.
I've only got the one copy, and it's a really manky copy. Yours is the new print. Mine's looks like it's about to snap in half. Oh, that's
new print copy and board game.
And a board game, yeah. So yes, back onto everyone's favorite French Canadian director right now, Dune. Because it's lockdown and everything, I had to watch it at home. Still, really, I loved it. I loved it. Like, the pacing's a bit... Once again, we're back onto that director. The pacing's a bit iffy. But it's so pretty.
I've seen it twice in cinema.
I would like to see it in cinema.
I mean, I enjoyed it so much the first time. I was just like, yeah, I'll watch it again. Cool.
I think the biggest problem part of it was we're going, and that's it over. The movie should have either been 10 minutes shorter or 10 minutes longer.
I don't know if I agree. Because I know some people have said this, and it definitely has a feeling of like when the film ends, you almost feel like it's a TV series where you're like, oh, I'm just gonna click on next episode. But it's actually
I'll wait for season 2. That's the only real gripe I have about it. Is it's like it builds up so much, and then, but of course this is part 1, even though it might now be a trilogy, because part 1's done so well. Which honestly, with how dense the source material is and how many sequels the thing has, it could easily be a trilogy.
I mean, I think they could have made it into a trilogy. They could make it into a trilogy. There's enough in the book to make it into
even the one book.
And even if they're doing the part 1, the part 1 they just did, there's still stuff that they could have included from the first part of the book. I think with the pacing, I don't know if there's a good way of delivering the stuff that you need to deliver in terms of narrative.
The only other thing they could have done is a TV series for that. If you want that kind of progression,
Yeah.
It should have been done as a TV series, which honestly I'm surprised Warner Brothers and HBO didn't do after Game of Thrones ended. We need a new sci-fi epic. Dune.
Yeah, but I think it's good as a film franchise, and I think as a film experience, I think it's feels more grand.
I mean,
think it suits the source material better.
There's literally no part of it usually in an adaptation. Well, blah 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 blah. That cast member was a bit miscast. I don't feel that for anyone in this movie. Like everyone's like, do you know what? No, you really work. Raj disagrees. Raj is making a face.
The only one is like the guy with the what's his name? You know, the one with the umbrella, and he's like really good at maths. He's a mentat.
Yeah. You mean the side character's not terribly important?
Character, yeah.
I thought he was great.
It's not the most important cast.
No, the only one I thought was like, well, the only two, because there are two who I think, wait a minute, I remember you two being more important than you are. It's the Fremen woman who becomes maid and everything, who he saves from the hunter-killer thing. She's kind of just there for 2 scenes, but it's like, if she comes back in part 2, people are going to be confused. And then, it's like, the antagonist of part 1, if they were doing part 1 like that, would have been the Doctor, and we didn't get enough time with him.
Yeah, Dr. Yue, definitely, you don't really understand his motivation for what he does as much.
Yeah.
There's a scene in I guess the David Lynch version where he explains his motivation.
Oh, shout out to the actor
more
he
about
was
like his
past.
Yeah. And it's a bit more in terms of like the Doctor, that his family's being held hostage and that sort of thing. But it kind of comes out a little bit more out of the blue, so I feel like that
There was a bit of shock
that moment
value,
doesn't have the same it doesn't have the same weight to it, I guess.
If he that's like him, a bit of pacing and the ending. That's kind of the only thing I have any issue with. The one character I thought was going to be okay, you're going to be distracting, wasn't. That was Jason Momoa as what's his name?
Idaho.
Yes, I thought it was like, oh, that's Jason Momoa. It's Aquaman. It's he's going to be distracting to be dude bro. It's like no, he's actually going to be he's going to be happy and hey, buddy. But he at no point was like, and now here's Jason Momoa's scene. It's like him. So
I mean, the thing is that you have essentially a world of characters who are quite cold and quite distant, and he's really the only character who has a degree of sort of warmth and sort of, I guess, humor about him. And in a way, it makes you like he's kind of your way into sort of getting into the world, and that's why you root for him and you feel like he definitely stands out from the rest of the characters. And I'm glad that he gets given a good amount of screen time. Actually,
I'm just happy that he didn't stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, it makes sense. He makes sense for sure.
I like pretty much the entire cast. I want to talk a little bit about Dave Bautista. The man needs more dramatic roles. Because Blade Runner, give him something quiet that he can just be angry, just suddenly in a mode, but be quiet with.
Yeah,
and he's really good. It's like everyone's like, here's Drax the Destroyer. He's funny, blah blah blah. No, give him some drama. He's one of the few
I think
XW. Was he? Well, man who started off in wrestling, who can actually act. We can maybe count the amount of good actors from wrestling on like my hand. Him, The Rock, John Cena, who apparently is a comedy genius. That'll be a different topic. And
obviously Stellan Skarsgård.
Oh yeah!
God. When he's on screen, you're just sort of looking forward to him.
He is.
It's just
like I remember the David Lynch one of the Baron was kind of weirdly homophobic, but also a sexual predator and a bit of the borderline comedic because he was just wanting to drool over Sting. But this one is scary. Like when they have once again, if you haven't seen the movie, I don't want to get into too many spoilers, but the dinner scene with the Duke was legit like.
When he floats across the table and then you see him like come into shots, it's just like his massive belly and he's like towering over.
But when you see him, when you see him with like I think he's in like a healing pool for reasons. Don't get spoilers again, and you see that he's fat, but that's also all muscle as well. So he's like a physical presence, and it's like, you're terrifying, but also really, I like this as a villain.
Yeah.
Also,
he he could tell that Stellan Skarsgård's enjoying it as well.
Oh
He's
God,
making
yeah.
the most of it.
It's the
It's great.
kill them all. And then there was the Reverend Mother? Ah,
Rebecca Ferguson.
no, her boss. Also, Rebecca Ferguson, loved her. She's fantastic. I love her and everything. She's great.
I'm surprised that there were some people who thought that Lady Jessica, and this is from people who have read the book,
Yeah.
they said that she's crying too much in the film. Which I thought was just a very strange complaint.
Hey, look, wise up. She had some of the best, like one of those badass scenes where she finally gets to use the voice and actually just tears some guys apart. Like,
Yeah.
oh, Lady Jessica's scary. But it's the test with it's not the Reverend Mother. Who am I thinking? What's her name? What's her title? They're in the library. Put your hand in the box. What is in the box? Pain. What is her name?
Gom Jabbar.
No, is that her name? What's her name? That's the test.
No, that's the name of the test.
Oh, what's her name though? She like the... It's not Reverend Mother. I keep saying Reverend Mother, but I know it's not.
Yeah, I keep on saying Reverend Mother.
Her character.
Yeah.
She's one very, very short scene in this, and she's a very, very important character. But that scene alone, you're not if she turns up in part 2, you're going to be scared. Because how they do the voice.
That's actually one of the things where, unfortunately, from kind of your experience, in the cinema when I went to see it.
Oh, that must have been
the way that the sound mixing was done.
You must have felt
when the voice
it.
was being used. You feel it. That's the thing, because it makes sense. It's not just that they're using their voice, right?
Yeah.
It's a little bit more like, metaphysical than that, and so you're meant to like feel something when you hear the voice, and so the way that it was done actually in cinema was really good.
One of the complaints I've heard about Dune needs to stop, which was, they're just ripping off Star Wars. No, Star Wars ripped off Dune.
No,
Star Wars ripped off Dune.
Look,
Shut up,
Star
you.
Wars fans. Things existed before Star Wars is invented.
Star Wars ripped off.
Go watch 2001: A Space Odyssey. It has
listen,
better effects than
George
Star Wars.
George Lucas
George
Lucas openly admits Star Wars, the first one anyway, is a rip-off. Not rip-off. Heavily inspired by, because first Star Wars movie, it's still a fun movie. It's still a classic, but it is heavily inspired by Dune, Flash Gordon, and pretty much the entire back catalog. Back catalogue of Japanese director
Akira Kurosawa.
Thank you, Kurosawa. Like, there's 7 Samurai. There's it's like I knew
Rashomon, who we were talking about earlier. Yeah.
Also, go watch 7 Samurai. It's still really good. So they're talking about it's like, it's just Star Wars. It's not just Star Wars. It is so much more than that, and I want to slap you if you say it again. But yeah, I loved it. I can't wait for part 2, which is probably going to be minimum late 2022, early 2023 before you can see it.
But I think it's interesting that they made this first part, and I think there was a degree of skepticism in terms of whether a second part would be funded and whether this film was actually going to be successful.
Well,
they probably looked at Denis Villeneuve's track record and saw that box office for Blade Runner 2049 was not great.
Well, a lot of people
and they probably had to make it. Yeah.
About the last great sci-fi classic from the ages that inspired everything that got adapted and didn't do too well, which was John Carter and Mars, which Disney did. So it's like, is there a certain level of classics which just don't transfer very well? So a lot of people were worried about that kind of thing. But honestly, I think it just stood this. It stood for itself. It was great. And the one scene I want to talk to you about is the spice harvester rescue. Because I think it's one of the perfect scenes to, if you're going to compare this film and the David Lynch film, it's the perfect comparison. Because they're both the exact same scene.
Yeah.
Just completely different from style, money, effects. And one, it's a not really an important change, but I just like the fact that they managed to get the copters right. Because David Lynch ones, there's like really crappy planes that go zoom. This one here, they're like weird dragonfly things. They get the wings doing everything perfectly.
I think it's weird that like people who aren't aware of the kind of the Dune universe would say like, why would a ship be designed like that?
It's like,
but it makes sense.
It's like a thousand.
It's mimic.
No, it's
mimicking nature.
How many years in the future is it? It's like it's a millennium or 2. Or 3.
This is like very far future.
Yeah, it's like Warhammer. It's so far in the future. Everything's allowed to either be really archaic or really, really futuristic. to the point where we can't get
It's so far in the future that we've already had like a technical revolution where we've tried to implement AI.
Oh yeah,
and realized it's such a bad idea.
I completely forgot about the AI thing.
And that any sophisticated, technology or AI is basically banned. That's why everything looks old.
Yeah, that's why in Dune there are no robots, there's no AI, or there's no intelligent AI. The closest you'll get is a screen that tells you some information. It's like...
And I guess those like swarm, like mosquito needle thingies.
Oh god, honestly, we could just keep talking Dune for like 2 hours, couldn't we? Like the shields.
Can we do that?
Oh, honestly, yeah. Okay, so back to that scene. We got to see Timothy Charlotte. Is it Charlemagne? No, it's not Charlemagne. Chalamet. You know, getting to do the rescue thing and then just casually trip balls for a good 5 minutes while everyone else has an action scene. Josh Brolin, just... Oh, I want to talk about every single person who's in this movie.
Yeah, they all are not. I mean, obviously Timothy Chalamet is probably the antagonist. He's the main focus.
I was really worried he might not be a good Paul, but then he's like, it was. I think what won me over was literally his first scene with Josh Brolin, who plays begins with an H. I really should have done some research before I started doing the quartermaster / bodyguard / bard.
Is his name Horatio?
No, Hurley, Herbie, anyway, him. Those two, they're combat / education / we're gonna have a conversation where you're gonna get off your high horse, you little shit. That there's like, I like your Paul. Your Paul's great.
And you have to remember that this character is meant to be 15 years old. He's meant to be a kid.
Yeah, it's kind of like,
and that's not necessarily something that the David Lynch version necessarily gets.
Why? Because they had an actor who was in his late 20s playing him. No,
Timothy Chalamet probably he is in his late 20s as well, but he has
23.
Might be right.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he's old. Anyway, he's older than the
it's
role,
one of those things
but
of
it makes sense.
It's like Game of Thrones with their adaptation of, we're going to age a couple of these characters up because they've got to go through some stuff we wouldn't be comfortable showing children go through.
Yeah, I mean, we can't cast a 15-year-old in.
Yeah, well,
it's not going to work.
What's his name tried it? Tarkovsky. The man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He was casting his son who was that age, man. Hey! If you want a third, completely different version of Dune, watch that documentary. Oh, that's...
Yeah, it's a documentary about the Dune film that never got made.
Though, one thing about that version, I feel, is in this version of the aesthetic for the Harkonnens. It's very similar. It's very similar to the... oh my god, I'm bad with names tonight. Everything's going. I'm having a stroke. The artist. Oh my god. Oh, help me here. Geiger.
Wait, what do you need?
Geiger. H.R. Geiger. How did I forget H.R. Geiger? I love H.R. Geiger. His art creeps me out. But it's cool. Like, all the Harkonnen stuff feels like it was inspired by his original art pieces for it. Like, hey, we're going to casually just, baptize you in the blood of your enemies while that guy's doing some throat singing in the distance. While these creepy statues...
the throat singing is so good.
It's like, that was creepy as hell, but... Okay, we're going on music. We're on music. I love this fact. Hans Zimmer did this, and he had to turn Tenet down to do it, and Christopher Nolan hasn't forgiven him.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I found it only funny recently. Apparently Christopher Nolan's still like, you did Dune instead of Tenet? I mean, I can see why.
I will say though, the Tenet soundtrack is really good.
Yeah, but the audio isn't.
I think his name is... I think the audio mixing on the dialogue is terrible.
Yeah, that's a Nolan problem we've had for years. That was just it at its worst. I'll happily
play it. Ludwig Göransson is his name.
I can't remember off the top
of my head. He actually does some very cool stuff with like time and sort of rhythm in the soundtrack, which makes sense.
I mean,
it's a film about time and all that.
So the thing is though, so does Hans Zimmer. Go back to Dunkirk, where everything. We can't. No, talking about Hans Zimmer time theory is mental. Look at it. Like, seriously, this isn't even a joke. Look at Inception and Dunkirk for Hans Zimmer time theory. It's like the man is. Let's be honest. Some of his commercial stuff sounds identical Watch Pirates of the Caribbean and Gladiator back to back. It's the same music. But when he gets something he really wants to mess with, this stuff's brilliant. I'm back to Dune. Soundtrack. I just want to say nice things about Dune. I love the movie. It's like 3 things that annoyed me, but the rest of it's like, it's so pretty.
It's just a nice film to watch. Like it's weird because it's like you sometimes get films where you may not really know what's happening. So I watched like Green Knight this year.
I liked Green Knight, but I understand what you mean. It's like, this movie is brilliant. I have no idea what's going on.
Right, but what I'm saying is the experience of watching it is so enjoyable that you kind of don't mind the fact that you'd have no idea what's happening. The difference here is you understand what's happening. And it is just an enjoyable film to watch.
Like, we're going into hard sci-fi, and some of the stuff that they adapted straight from the book was like, oh, you're actually using the whole Messiah name. Oh my god, you're actually adapting that. The one thing which honestly probably could have changed, you adapted and did it quite well. I'm still wondering how they're going to handle, because the whole thing with Dune is, and Raj will back me up on this. 3-part 1, Paul is the protagonist. He is the hero. For now.
Yeah.
For now. It's the how he takes on the whole thing of, I will become this. I don't want to say, no, I'm not, okay, once again, if you only watch the movie, you watch the book, read the book, so I don't want to spoil it. Let's just say, it's kind of the giant sci-fi version of Breaking Bad. Except way worse.
There are a lot of narrative hurdles that it needs to get through.
To. It's so much
And in
worse.
a way, I think if you analyze the book itself, things kind of fall apart a bit in the second half of the book, I'd say. First half, I think, tends to be viewed a lot better than the second half.
That's because that's the bit everyone remembers reading.
True.
Or what they remember from the David Lynch movie.
That's the thing. I mean, obviously, if you go back to the David Lynch movie, the second half of that movie is just trying to cram a lot of stuff into a very short period of time. At least in a way, it's good that they've.
That movie is on Netflix, by the way, or it's on Netflix or Amazon. I'm going to watch it again, but I don't want to. But I'm going to. Does that make sense?
Are you going to see the what was it? Wasn't there like a rat in a cage or something? You remember that?
Yes. No, it's a cat. It's a cat.
A cat. Sorry, it's a cat. You're right.
I have made you a new disease, my lord. Good. Let me pop a spot and then molest this twink. God, that movie's weird. But
it's a very strange movie.
Okay. We've just cycled around Dune too many times. Let's talk about the next big movie, which might be the movie of this generation. Like, no movie that's coming out recently that has this much importance, story, credibility, and just prestige coming out of it. I think Raj will agree with me. It's the Mario movie. I tried to say that with a straight face, but right before we started, Raj
I actually forgot we were talking about.
Yeah, so did I. Until I was like, I have it written down in front of me, and it's like, that is a movie that just won. I mean, no movie needs to be made, but this one feels like it doesn't need to be made properly, because you have like the likes of Detective Pikachu, which came out of nowhere and was actually really, really good and really, really fun. You had the Sonic movie, which heavily remade and probably cost the lives of at least 4 or 5 animators, was apparently really, really good. I've not seen it. It's on my list. I mean to. I want to watch it because Sonic 2 has Idris Elba as Knuckles.
Idris Elba's playing Knuckles.
Yeah. But that energy of Idris Elba's playing Knuckles, the exact opposite energy is 90% of the cast of Mario.
I mean, and I guess like with those films, like Detective Pikachu, it's not a cinematic masterpiece. But if you look at where video game movies were before,
I will because I have.
It's a big step in the right direction.
Yeah,
for sure. Like it's a lot better than what we had before.
Like, let's be honest. Like the last couple of video game movies, we had the Monster Hunter movie, which then got banned in China because it was racist.
Oh God, I didn't even want to watch that. I'm actually like a huge Monster Hunter fan.
Yeah, so is my flatmate, and it's like, hey, here's the trailer. And it's like, why are they in Humvees? Why is the American
Why are they
military?
Humvees?
Why is Mila
Why are
Djokovic
they-
just playing the exact same character that she was in Resident Evil? Yeah,
Like,
apparently
why make it U.S. soldiers dropping into the Monster Hunter
because it's
world and
Paul
realizing the
W.S.
guns don't
Anderson.
work?
It's because Paul W.S. Anderson.
No, but just set it in the Monster Hunter
That's
world.
because
Don't
Paul
have
W.S.
them-
Anderson.
Yes, I know, but why?
He
Paul?
look right. He's made one good video game adaptation. One. The first Mortal Kombat movie, and even then,
Oh, okay.
the good is more of the. You know, it's really stupid, but it's fun. Oops, sorry.
I have not seen the Mortal Kombat movie.
The first one, weirdly fun. Mainly the fact that Raiden is Christopher Lambert.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll watch then.
but recently we've had a bit of a mixed bag with video game movies. They're either okay or terrible. We had the Tomb Raider movie.
There was the
grand.
Hitman movie,
Let's not
which
talk
was
about
really bad.
Oh, don't. Let's not. Don't.
The Assassin's Creed movie.
I have not seen, but apparently it's. Yeah. There was the
Yeah.
Tomb Raider movie with Michael Fassbender's Mrs. I can't remember her name.
Mm-hmm.
She was an Ex Machina.
Alicia Vikander.
Her. She was a really good Lara Croft. It was fun. They're doing a sequel. I'm okay for it. We had the Mortal Kombat movie, which was great. Like, how are you this fun? You should be terrible. Like at the end, where Scorpion actually gets the script words, get over here. It's like, do you know what? That was fun. Some of it's dumb because it is.
And we have the trailer for the Uncharted movie that's come out, which looks bad.
No, it doesn't look bad. It just looks generic.
It looks
It
bad.
looks like a generic action movie from like 4 years ago, and the
But
trailer.
the thing is,
The trailer alone managed to piss off the entirety of Scotland. I am gonna fucking knock you about. What?
what? What is?
No, my favorite
But the
thing
thing
about
is,
my thing's stupid. I want to say it really quickly, right? The Uncharted
okay,
movie
can you
was
say they are stupid?
no.
By the way.
Listen, this is funny. The Uncharted movie was in development hell for so long. Mark Wahlberg went from playing Nathan Drake to playing his older tutor teacher. That's how long this movie was in development hell. Also, Mark Wahlberg.
That's how long it took.
He's okay. Mixed bag. Depends on the movie.
As Sully, it makes more sense. Tom Holland, I can't really see as Nathan Drake, to be honest.
I like Joan Warsmith. I like the games. I don't know. It's one of those movies that's not really on my radar. I prefer the Last of Us TV series coming out because that actually could be really cool.
That could be good, yeah.
Yeah. Then we have.
Anyway, so
The
what I
new
was going
Resident
to
Evil
say is that
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. You.
all of these examples
Mhm.
are irrelevant because these are all games that you could maybe make a movie out of.
Yeah.
We're talking about Mario, a character who, for the most part, speaks in Yahoo! Wahoo! And now he's expected to be in a film where he has to actually talk.
It's
and
more.
have- and there's actually going to be like a plot in the movie.
Honestly, I think if
But
they
there isn't a plot in
if
any
it was
of
like
his games.
if it was a kids properly, we're just making a kids movie. Yeah, it could work. Mario goes through an adventure, save Princess Peach. It could be fun. Then I found out it's like no. Oh, did you see the reveal for this? By the way, we have a pristine cast. Here is Chris Pratt, black and white photo. By the way, looks like he's taken from Jurassic World or something.
Black and white photo.
And it's like playing Mario, and it's like, is this a joke? Why Chris Pratt? And it's like as Luigi. Oh, your dude from Always
Charlie
Sunny.
Day.
Yeah. By the way, they missed. They could have had the perfect Mario. Why did you not get an actual Italian American like Danny DeVito
I mean,
play this
people
character?
have said that. Well, people have said Danny DeVito for Wario. They didn't announce a Wario.
Mario's probably not gonna do
No,
that. But no, he would have been perfect as Mario. Because you know what? He works with Charlie Day. Those two have really good chemistry with Always Sunny.
Mhm.
They're Peach.
Yeah.
Do you know what? She's grand. I have nothing bad to say.
Taylor-Joy, yeah.
Yeah, thank you for knowing people's names. I'm really blanking today. She can be fun.
No, but what's amazing about like this entire reveal? It's like a roller coaster. It's so like brilliantly paced. Like you have Chris
oh no,
Pratt.
huh? Yeah, because
Yeah.
Jack
it's like Chris
Black
Pratt
as
punches you in the face, and
Yeah.
then Anya Taylor-Joy is like, okay, we're coming back up.
Yeah.
Charlie Day, like,
as
puts you
Luigi
back
is
on
actually
the roller
perfect.
coaster.
Honestly, that's perfect.
It makes a bit of sense. And then you see Jack Black as Bowser,
Which
and now you're like,
that
back
is Marmite. Either people are
the-
really happy about it or not. I'm kind of okay with it because you know what? It's like how are you gonna make Bowser into a movie character? He's gonna growl.
Yeah.
There's Jack Black.
I mean,
The Donkey
I like
Kong
Jack Black.
also. By the way, Donkey Kong. This movie's already getting a spin-off. This movie's getting a Donkey Kong movie. Already.
But who's playing Donkey Kong?
He was revealed.
Question.
He was revealed during that pandemonium. Seth Rogen.
I know, but it's Seth Rogen.
Which honestly,
believe-
he does. Like, I think he could do Donkey Kong. I really do
I
think
can
he would.
actually see it.
The-
I can see him go.
The one bit, the one bit of the reveal which really just annoyed me is like, and we're bringing back the voice of Mario, who's been the voice of Mario since Mario 64,
Oh, Charles Martinet.
as a cameo, and it's like, as a cameo, how dare you, man? That man has given his life to play this character. Not given it, but it's his.
But I guess it's.
But still, it's like, oh.
I guess it's a thing where he has voiced that character for many years, but he hasn't had like actual lines of dialogue. He's just gone wahoo, yahoo, yeah.
He's done many lines of
It's
dialogue.
a.
Like he's done many
But they're very
how they announced it
They're
was more
short
of the
little snippets.
yeah no but how they announced it was like, oh, and we're giving him a wee bit, and it's like I feel like we pat in the head and really patronising, just like, and pretty much every fan's like, he was a bastard. He deserves better than that.
My
But
sense is
still.
that they did try it with him, and originally, or at least like got his blessing to be able to cast someone else. Because
Do you really think they care?
in terms of the way that the character's been done before, it's been done in these like short little snippets of voice clips. It's not like
Okay.
this is a feature-length film where he has to talk for extended periods of
This
time.
whole thing is it the ultimate test, right? 'Cause the first official Nintendo movies, not counting the animated Pokemon stuff, there's only been two. Detective Pikachu and the Super Mario Brothers movie. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My feeling is...
Was it good?
It was terrible. It was considered... The late Bob Hoskins considered it the worst movie of his career. I have a feeling that movie might be better than this. When all is said and done, the reason I'm really annoyed
The
because
thing that makes me agree with you is the fact that it's Illumination who made Minions.
Illumination, right? Because they're part of DreamWorks, yeah. They do Despicable Me and stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah.
They have a okay track record because they also made like How to Train Your Dragon.
They didn't.
Yeah, they did.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did. Didn't they?
No.
I thought. Okay, I need to Google this. I'm pretty sure DreamWorks made that.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's right.
I'm actually Googling this.
How to Train Your
Oh
Dragon.
look, DreamWorks. How to Train Your Dragon.
No, but they're not DreamWorks though. Illumination's not DreamWorks.
Official. I thought they were because Despicable Me is DreamWorks. It's not.
I don't know if they're owned by DreamWorks.
Yeah, but they're part of. They're one of DreamWorks' animation departments.
No, but that doesn't count. You can't.
I'm sorry. No.
between
I'm
Dis-
sorry. No. I will call
you
Pixar
differentiate between-
Disney.
No, but
Yeah.
there are Pixar films. There are Disney films. They're different things.
Not when a lot of them. Okay, no, we're getting into the things because a lot of them work together. I think there's a possibility it could be good, but that's the possibility. The rest of me is going like, this is going to be terrible. The reason I'm annoyed.
Also, I don't think Illumination's owned by DreamWorks.
But yeah, the reason I'm really annoyed is because there are two other projects that might not be made if this movie fails, and they would be better movies. Metroid.
Donkey Kong movie.
Fuck off. Sorry, not swearing anymore. I'm trying not to swear anymore. I'll bleep that. Bleep that later. The Metroid film, which could be really cool. It could be. And then the other one, which could literally be an amazing animated epic, which would be The Legend of Zelda.
Okay, I have strong feelings on both of those, especially Metroid because I'm a big Metroid fan.
Yeah, but if Mario messes up... The worst bit is if Mario was terrible but still makes money, that's even worse. Because then there's a level of quality they can go into these movies with. It's like, no! Either make it good or learn your lesson. Don't...
But a Metroid movie is not going to be animated. That's a live action movie.
Either
the
or.
Mario movie...
Oh no, at this point...
The Mario movie being animated makes sense.
Oh, no,
I
but
don't think you animate...
No, but either or. This is like the next thing. Be like the next Pokemon projects or anything like that. Actually, I think like for a while there was going to be a Legend of Zelda Netflix series by the same guys who made Castlevania. This whole thing took that off. So
The thing is, with Nintendo games, they don't have a lot of plot. Like, what are you adapting? You're adapting a game into like a movie or a TV show, but there's not a lot like on
Zelda,
the bone. Like, you take Last of Us and you put it into a TV show. There's a rich vein of characters.
Okay. Here's the thing: Zelda, there's enough there to make a giant thing without having to completely make things up. There's enough there.
I think there is. I don't think there is.
It's like, hey, I could do a list as long as Mario Movie Zelda games, and you could pick and mix. And the weirdest thing about it could still technically be canon because Zelda canon's weird. Anyway, I was just talking about a lot about Dune, way too much about Mario. I think we got okay. Here's the weird thing: we got way too serious about Mario, but not Dune. And it feels weird.
I think Mario is very important, and we need to make sure that we do it right and we treat it with respect because Mario is a plumber. Damn it!
Not anymore.
Plumbers
No.
deserve respect.
Mario's not a plumber anymore. Nintendo has said that Mario's not a plumber anymore.
What?
Yeah, it's a couple of years ago. Like, yeah, Mario's not a plumber anymore.
What?
Also, Chris Pratt.
This is ridiculous.
Chris Pratt has promised Mario won't have an Italian accent.
Okay, that's weird.
Yeah, I know. Like everything about this is like, oh, you're okay. No. I was trying to wrap the show and get dragged back into this.
No. Every time you try to go away, it pulls you back in. That's the Mario movie.
Somewhere,
everywhere you turn.
Somewhere Al Pacino's just like, yeah. Hey, back to House of Gucci. Wasn't he in that?
What was that?
Wasn't Al Pacino in House of Gucci?
Yes. And
that was David.
Jeremy Irons is in it, but his role was meant to be Robert De Niro.
I love Jeremy Irons. He's great. Occasionally makes weirdly homophobic references, but he keeps apologizing. He keeps making them, but it's like he doesn't know any better, and then he learns and apologizes, and then it's like then he says something worse. Okay, we're ending the show. Raj, it was lovely seeing you. Hopefully we get to do this again soon. Hopefully we get one with Egerton as well, so he can be confused by us having rants about Nintendo characters. I know there's going to be a new episode of Tech Bros coming out soon. Yay.
Yes.
So please, once again, go on to if you're on YouTube, just go on, find all our other series such as Tech Bros, Cinema Nasty. Yeah, down there.
Down there.
James's film of the week, and Wild.
Hawk.
I really thought I don't want to say what I said. I have to bleep it. But yeah, go there, like, share, subscribe, and also go to the website infinitycast.co.uk. I've been David. This has been Raj, and bye.